Okay, so what we were learning dashboard tricks. So what we want to bring here on the dashboard is, I'll show you the dashboard first. So this is the dashboard that we are trying to achieve now. So you can see we have the spark lines here, the basic charts. We have this sheet here, but instead of having one sheet over there, we want to display three sheets one by one. Usually what happens is when on dashboard we display the sheets, each sheet takes its own place on the dashboard. So I want to select the sheet name from here on the parameter like this, and the sheet changes according to the value in the parameter. This is what we want. So let me show you the another workbook. Here you can see I've already brought the spark lines on the chart. So we have already got the world map, profit scatter. Actually, this profit scatter is not visible from here. The reason is that I've selected the sales profit from here. The sales profit chart is visible. So how we have achieved this is, first we have created a parameter that I want to create this parameter. So this is the parameter. This parameter is having three string values, which is world map, the name of the sheet. We have profit scatter, this sheet, and we have the sales profit, this sheet. So we have got these three values here. And then I created a calculated field, this one. And we just have written the name of the parameter in that. And then we select this and we put this in the filter, right? And over there, what we have done is on the individual sheet, we have added the name of the sheet that we are filtering. We are including this particular sheet. This is the sales profit we have selected from here using custom value list. Okay, so once that's done, from this parameter here, we will be able to select the sheets. Here I've selected the world map. You can go and check the world map is visible. And if I select this profit scatter, you can go and check the profit scatter is visible out there. So let's drag in this to the dashboard. So we are making use of these objects. We've already used the horizontal containers. Now I'm going to use the vertical container. I'm going to select this vertical container and we want to put it here, right? So this vertical container will allow us to add the sheets in vertical direction, right? So firstly, I'm going to select the world map and I'm going to put it here. Next, I'm going to select profit scatter, put it here, and sales profit and put it here. And here you can see we have got world map. Let's remove this one. We have got the profit scatter and we have got the sales profit. But it's a bit clumsy. So what we can do is from this sheet, we can hide the title, and from this sheet also I'm going to hide the title. Okay, just a minute. From this sheet, let's hide the title. We don't want to display this. From this one also, let's hide the title. Okay, so we've got this chart and the parameter, world map, profit scatter, and we have got the sales profit. Now, as you can see, these legends are not connected with this, right? Means if I'm selecting world map, the other legend is going dark blue. So this is not adjusting. So in this case, if I've selected the scatter plot, these legends are not adjusted. So we need to fix these legends also here on the dashboard in order to make this dashboard work properly. For that, I'm going to create another sheet. I want to rename this as fix color legend. And here we are going to create a calculated field. This will be color legend. So writing a case statement, case. The case will be the name of the parameter, which is rotate sheets, because when we want to select a particular sheet, we want to change the color of the legend according to that sheet and according to the dimensions which are in that sheet. So case rotate sheet, here we are including when a particular sheet means when world map, when the name of the sheet is world map, then we want to include all the dimensions which are in the world map. So let's go to world map and check what are the dimensions. Here we have got the country and state. So I'm going to select country and state, right? So another case is when another sheet, and that is profit scatter. When profit scatter, then we have customer ID, state and city. Next, another sheet which is sales profit. When it is sales profit, then country, and then end. So this is the case we have created. Apply this. Okay, we have got a dimension here, calculated field. Now this is the dimension and I'm going to select it in the rows. And next I'm going to select profit in color. That's it. What has happened here is this is the dimension according to the sheet which is selected in the parameter, and this is the color of the profit we have extracted from there. And whenever these dimensions will be in the particular sheet, the color legend will adjust according to that, according to the dimensions participating in the sheet. So from here, go to parameters and select the parameter rotate sheets. Now you can see if I select world map, this legend changes according to the world map. If I select sales profit, legend is changing according to that. If we select profit scatter, it's changing according to that. Now we need to bring this sheet on the dashboard so that we get this particular legend which changes according to the sheets. For that, first I need to remove these. I'm going to remove this. Okay. And next I'm going to drag in this sheet fix color legend here. Okay. Now this is the legend I've got. I'm gonna keep it here. Okay, so I need this legend only. I don't want this information. This is looking clumsy on our dashboard, so we don't need this one. What we can do is we can make it floating. Two kind of we can keep our sheets in two ways, tiled and floating. Tiled means if this is fixed, means this is fixed. If I'm keeping it somewhere, this is fixed. This particular sheet is taking some space on the dashboard. So what I can do is I can make it floating. So I'm going to make it floating so that it can be put anywhere. Floating means it can be put anywhere on the dashboard over any chart without taking much space. So once we do that, I'm going to make it really small. Now that's not visible. So now let's check for the world map. This legend is changing accordingly. For the sales profit, it's changing. For profit scatter, it's changing. Now the color legend is changing according to the plot. So this was about the dashboard tricks. Please write in the chat box if this is clear to you. And on the sales profit, countries participating. So we have included all those dimensions here in the case. Once this is done, next, okay, so this calculation is done. Then we bring this now this is a dimension. We bring this dimension in the rows. We have got the rows, and then we want to display this profit color. Now according to this color, this legend will be adjusted according to these colors and dimensions. When I select a particular state, according to this dimension, this profit legend will adjust. That's it. So this is about the sheet, and then we drag this sheet here on the dashboard, and then I have hidden this sheet here. So you cannot see this sheet anymore, right? So what we have done is we have instead of getting a tiled sheet, we have converted this to floating sheet, so that if you want to see this, so this floating sheet can be put anywhere. If I do not want this sheet to be displayed here on the dashboard, if you want to hide any of the sheet, because I just want to use this color legend here, so we can simply make it invisible like this, just a small line, and we can put it somewhere here. Okay, and this is how it works. So this allows us to select a particular sheet and not making our dashboard clumsy. Is this clear to you now, Satvik? Okay. So we have already done stories. Yes, we have already done stories in our class before midterm. We have done that. And stories were also asked in your CA2. In CA3, stories will be asked again. The reason for that is because whatever question I'll give you, you have to explain that question in your story. Okay? Whatever analysis I'm giving you, you need to create story of your analysis explaining the highlights by writing how you achieved that result in the stories. One of your classmate was asking me about the story points, so I told him that I'll explain that in the live class, but he's not present in here. So if you have the doubt in story points, creating stories, you can ask me here. I'll explain it to you. Please write in the chat box if someone needs to understand creating stories, because this is done. You want to understand this? Okay, I'll explain it. Okay. So here you can see this last This is new story. We'll click on this. Now the story, in story we can include sheets also, we can include dashboard also, but at one time we can only we can only add one sheet. We can only add one dashboard on one story point, right? Like for example, if I'm selecting this world map here, okay, so we cannot do that in this case. For this analysis, I cannot do that. What can I do is I can add a dashboard, and from here I can select sales profit like this. And what I can write is, you can write the analysis that you have achieved, all the writing. Okay, so I told you that that will be considered as a viva, right? The explanation, what you, how you achieved it. So in your own writing you need to write it, right? So like whatever we compared, so in this country wise sales is compared with average sales in countries by customer ID and average profit in countries by customer ID, right? So whatever you want to explain, like I've written very less, but we can explain more, right? We can write the highlights, everything, what you need to explain it to me. So after writing that, so in this text, you can format this, you can make it bold, you can change the color of this, you can do that, right? Once this is done, next is, so this will be your question number 1. This is your first story, right? So we can rename the story. You can rename the name of your analysis. Suppose we are analyzing global superstore. Okay, so next is we can create more story points. So suppose I'm duplicating this. Now in this we have got the one, in the second we have got another duplicated. Now this time I want to check the world map. Okay, this in another story I've changed something in the dashboard. You can do that. And this time what in this, what we have got, we can change it in this country wise or state wise. This is state wise profit is represented on map, and you can highlight it that the profit is maximum. We can see that it's more in California, England, New York, right, as compared to some states where it is negative. You can mention all those points here, right? So next I can again duplicate this. So we duplicate it. In the third one, suppose I want to create for profit scatter. So here we can mention the analysis, right? Sales versus profit. I'm writing less text, right? You need to write more in your CA. So this is sales versus profit, and you can highlight the points. Next, we can create a blank also. So here I can drag some sheets. Like suppose I'm dragging in the profit spark line, maybe. You can add more like this. Once this is done, you can save it and we can check this. We can check or see, have a look at the stories from here. right? Like a presentation, like this, right? So I've just added this one because I was having only this one. Like this, we can create. What else you can do is you can explain your one analysis in this, and then you can create another story. Oh, sorry. Another story from here, and then you can explain your second analysis here by writing everything along with the whatever you have like achieved in your CA versus the chart. Like here you will be representing the chart and the explanation of that, like why you have done that, why you have chosen a particular kind of chart, explain everything in there. One more thing I want to tell, story is clear to you? Please write to me if story is clear. Yes, good. Okay, right. And one more thing I want to tell you that you have not done in your previous CA, that is saving your file in .twbx. It's very, very, very important to save it in the .twbx. So for that, we need to save as .tw. That's it. It's very simple. .twbx. That's it. But it can save a lot of time in that we use for editing the connections, right? We have to edit the connection whenever we open any w file. So if we save this as .twbx, so this will be saved as a tableau packaged workbook. Okay, so this is must that you save this in .twbx. Even if you relocate, if you change the location of your data set, okay, if you have lost your data set, but if you have got the workbook, so you will be able to see your analysis. Okay, without data set you won't. Save it as .twbx. Any other doubts? Syllabus is in your reading material. Haven't you checked the announcement on UMS? I've posted an announcement regarding some instructions, and your syllabus is in the reading material. Okay.